again to the Dwarven Tavern. I am your host, Lyric, and with me today is...
Dr. Jeff.
And today we are doing another review. This one is going to be about the game Expedition. This is a really cool game. We demoed it at Gen Con, and then we being me and Josh, and then we played it again last night, just to get a feel of it. We really enjoyed it, so we thought we would give you a good demonstration. Last time, this is an expansion pack, and last night when we played it, we did not use it, so this time we are going to test that out. So, what's really cool about this game is that you need your handy-dandy phone with you, and that is because when you have your phone, you're going to need an app called Expedition. Which is right there, and I will put up the screen, the phone right here below us, so that you guys can see what's going on. So it says to begin, all players hold one finger on the screen or double tap to manually set the player count. So we do that. There's two of us, and then it has the beginning screen. This is where you break out the rest of the cards.
And you break them out because they're being held prisoner within the box.
Also, it gives you health tokens, which you clip onto your cards, and a single 20-sided die, but we're going to be playing with this one because this one didn't like any of us, and this one is bigger for your convenience. In the box, it comes with...
What she said. Are we using the horror?
Yes, I would like to.
I will break them out.
You can break those out. It comes with a very small sheet of instructions, and that is because most of the instructions are going to be on the app itself. That being said, it comes with a bunch of cards. I'll move my coffee and move this out of the way so you guys can see everything that we can do for you. So it comes with adventurers, which we will select. Do you want to select the same ones we had last night, or move on from something?
We could, but the horror, it has more adventurers.
Ooh! Well, you can go ahead and mix all of them in. They have loot cards. This is goodies that you find throughout the game. They have helper cards, which are basically cheat sheets for every character. This is not that's a range. So every person playing gets a little cheat sheet with them. Then we have ranged attacks or abilities, and these are for characters that have ranged abilities, such as Anticipate. Next round, draw an extra ability and look at your hand before the round begins, which, that's really cool. And then it has, you know, if you fumble or if you critical.
I think this one has much the same.
Cool.
It has the Fraud Psychiatrist.
That's
the
funny.
Fretful Bard, the Magical Minstrel, the Hungry Chef.
The Fretful Bard.
The Fretful Bard. And that's what Ian played last night.
Okay.
The Alcoholic
Really,
Diplomat.
because he played it more like the very bored bard.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the Dutiful Soldier.
So the 5 cards, or rather the 4 abilities that characters have is melee, ranged, magic, and music. There's a lot of bards in this game. So because of that, we have monsters, bandits, beasts, so on and so forth, in this little pile, and, well, these are helper cards, in this pile, and they have weaknesses or strengths against the cards that players may or may not have, which I found very cool. I thought that was a good technique. So they have Fae, Undead, Bandits, and Beasts, I believe, are the 4 monster selections. So it's a very basic selection of monsters, but at the same time, it's also very there is variety in the basic cards.
Yes.
So you're not going to end up with a very boring game just because it's the first deck that is available.
Correct.
So
I picked from the original pack, and
Sure.
I picked the Pack Rat.
Also, we got this card. It's a little bent out of shape because I've held it separately from the rest of the deck. This is from Todd, who was one of the creators of the game, if not the creator of the game. I can't really recall right now. I apologize for that. But thank you, Todd. He gave us the Dragonkin card, which is both the business card of the game and another character that you can add in. We got that from demoing it at Gen Con, which thank you guys so much for giving this to us. So, I'm gonna be I'll be the magical minstrel. Is that what you were?
That's what I was yesterday. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll be the magical minstrel this time.
The pack rat starts out with 2 ranged, 2 melee, and 2 magic.
So, that means he gets 2 ranged cards, 2 magical cards, and 2 melee? Alright, and for
Because
me...
I collect everything. Swords, guns, knives.
For me, I get 3 magic and 3 music. So, these cards I don't believe are shuffled, so we're just getting the very basic variety. And it doesn't really matter if you shuffle them because all of the cards are different. There's not... I don't think that we've come across cards that are like 3 alike or 4 alike or what have you.
Mm-hmm.
They've always been pretty like... unique with the abilities on them. So I don't feel like there's a need to shuffle them, but the more you play it, the more mixed up it'll get. So, going back to our screen, we can do learning to adventure, your first adventure. Your party encounters a smelly situation, mystery, misfortune, and a mistress. Ooh. And a dungeon crawl. Would you like to just do the learning, the adventure just for simplicity's sake?
Sure.
Cool. Alright, so we're doing learning to adventure. Oh, hey, let's do these as well.
I already got one.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Cool. I'll be blue!
I'm Yaller.
Handy dandy health sheet. This is literally your character sheet, is your adventure card, which is really cool, very simple, and I find that I lose health quite frequently because I'm just not very good at this game. So, I thought that was pretty cool. Select one adventure of your choice from the deck, set it face up in front of you, and pass the deck along, which we have done. It says 1 to 2 players, we do not recommend using adventures with music abilities. I'm doing it anyway because I am lyric.
La la.
It says clip a health tracker onto your adventurer, which is what we have done. That's what that is. Draft pick each ability, draw 3, keep 1, put the other 2 on the bottom of the deck. Which we are not going to do that because we've played this before, so we're just going to do as we do. Read through your abilities. You can have a mulligan if you want, which we're not gonna. Shuffle them into the stack face down in front of you. So, I actually haven't looked at my cards. That would certainly help. 4 less damage. It's called the Song of Silence.
It's hard to shuffle a deck of 6.
Mm-hmm. And then the last one is give each player a helping card, which basically tells what all of the little insignias are in the corners of the cards and whatnot. I will give a little picture of that as well. So, during your adventure, each player should take turns reading a page from the story, then pass this device to their right. So we're just going to be passing it back and forth as the screen progresses so that we can add a little more character to the characters in the story. During combat, place the device in the center of the table so everybody can see and participate. Also, there's a really cool part of this that I enjoy very much, that when you're in combat, it is timed. So there's no...
Oh yeah, that's pretty intense. When you have to pick out a card, one of your abilities to use, and you've got like, what, 10 seconds?
Mm-hmm.
To look through the 3 cards that you've drawn from your deck here.
Not all 6. Just 3.
You draw 3 of them at random, and then you pick 1, and you've got 10 seconds to do it, and then put your finger on the phone to signify that you're done. And it's like and you've got plenty of time. It's 10 seconds. You can
There's a lot that can happen in 10 seconds.
And yet that tension is it's palpable.
Yes, because it shows milliseconds as well.
Yeah.
So we're gonna demonstrate that for you right now. One player should read it out, and our adventure begins. So, you want to go on an adventure, the grizzly town guardsman asks with a smile. You, the troublemaking children of the town, nod eagerly. All right then. Just don't tell your parents it was me. This is the instruction, and then because this is the beginning adventure, it tells you what each part of the story is, which I find very nice. It gives you the flow and explains what part of the flow that is for this first adventure. So if you're extremely new to this, you should probably do the learning the adventure one first, just for understanding the app itself.
The tutorial is good.
Yeah. And it doesn't really cover that in the instructions that it gives you with here. So that is that for me.
Okay. Now just remember, the most important rules when adventuring are to have fun and work together. Expedition is a lightweight game. It is focused on having fun instead of memorizing rules. For example, during a round of combat, you can resolve abilities in any order. You can even change the order of abilities after they've been played.
I guess that makes sense.
Sure.
Okay. Now, you've got a decision to make.
Scared me.
I'm the guard now. Would you rather help clean up the guardhouse or deal with some rowdy fairy folk? At this point, your party should decide which option you'd like to pick. Your choices will affect your adventure, so choose wisely. There is no single way to win. Each quest has its own goals and missions that will be revealed as you play. So, do you want to take on Fae folk, or do you want to clean up?
Let's take on the Fae folk,
Let's take on the Fae.
say I.
Ooh, Fae folk is the answer.
Alright, knew that one would excite you. Here's the deal. A wisp and a mushroom are causing commotion at the market. As honorary members of the town watch, you may use whatever force is necessary to bring peace to the town. Here, take this to help you. The guardsman hands you some loot from the guard supplies.
Is it loot 1?
Yes.
Okay.
Draw 2 Tier 1 loot cards face up and distribute them to the party members as you see fit. You can give loot to other party members at any time. Playing loot during combat does not count as an action and can be used at any time unless stated otherwise, even after you used an ability.
I feel like this one, the loot that is given, I've been giving a magical loot, so I should probably take that.
Sure.
That is either I can choose one of these options. +5 to your next role-playing roll. That's a giant bonus.
That's huge.
That's me earning an electric guitar after playing acoustic.
Yeah.
Or 2 targets take 2 musical damage.
Okay.
Which, if I recall correctly, these Fae that we will be facing are musically, what's the word? Musically, weak. The Fae, they're susceptible to music damage.
Yeah, they are.
So.
Fae.
All
Well,
right.
they're very sensitive, so.
You're making your way to the market, as the guardsman wasn't kidding about the commotion. You see a floating magical mushroom and wisps flying around, upsetting stalls and running into people. Now the situation is bad. Bread lies broken on the ground. Merchants are mad. Tea leaves are trodden upon. Squashes are squashed. You try to consider the options. Try to intimidate the fairies, arrest the fairies, or use force to subdue the fairies.
I say we go straight to force.
Force?
Surely.
Yeah. Let's do it. Let's get mean.
I eat mushrooms for breakfast. I really do. Seeing their reckless disregard for the law, you decide that force is the best option.
Keep reading.
You're about to enter combat for the first time. The app will guide you through each round. The app will tell you which enemies to draw, along with their class and deck icons on the back of the black enemy cards. To win, you must defeat all enemies. If all adventurers are knocked out, the battle is lost, but you may still be able to complete the quest. The app will tell you when your enemies surge, which triggers the surge ability listed on the enemy cards.
Will-o'-the-Wisp Tier 1 and Magic Mushroom Tier 1. These are the enemies that we will be facing. They get health points as well. Draw the enemy cards listed above and place them on the center table. Put tokens on the largest numbers on their health trackers, which is on the side of the card as well. So the enemies and the heroes are very similar in design, very simple, very straightforward, but the enemies are black and the heroes are white, just like your old racist films.
That only applied to hats. by the way. The black hats were the bad guys and the white hats were the good guys. And their skin color could be anything. You could be a black guy with a white hat, or a white guy with a white hat, or a black guy with a white hat. I said that already. Or a white guy with a
it's okay.
You could be any color and wear either hat.
Okay.
Because they're good and bad in all of us.
So.
Especially me.
Shuffle your abilities, and now we're into combat. Shuffle your abilities and keep these separate. If you run out, basically just start your pile over again. Pre-draw 3. Okay.
I wonder if the magic mushrooms have hallucinogenic problems.
Probably.
If they can do like illusions.
I bet that's what it is. They're causing mischief. So.
Yeah.
Okay. So you draw the 3 cards, and do not look at these because you have to pick them. Basically on instinct from how fast you have to select them.
Okay.
And then you can start the timer. Are you ready?
All right, I got mine. See, that's the tension I was talking about.
Okay.
Okay, I got mine.
Get!
God! I forgot.
Hang on. I think it's... There he goes. All right. So, do you want to go first or you want me to go first?
You can go first.
Okay. So, I chose the Song of Silence. I have to get an 11 or better. Oh, no.
Wow, an 11 or better?
That's
your Song of Silence.
Yeah. I have to get an 11 or better, and this means that the enemies deal 4 less damage this round. So, with our handy-dandy gigantic die this round, I get a 1!
You're dead.
So, awesome about this cards is that it shows what the critical and the fumble are as well. And the fumble on my card is Adventurers deal 4 less damage this round.
Oh my god.
So, sorry.
Wow.
Mine
was Whirlwind, which says deal 3 to each target and take 3 damage.
I'm sorry.
I need a 7 or better to do nothing.
And you would have got it.
Okay, so yeah, there's nothing.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Nothing going on there. Well, at least I didn't take any damage either.
So that was, well, we took 1 point of damage because after our attack they get to go. So we all move to 1.
It's an awesome ability you got.
Sorry, I tried. All right, and then we repeat it until the battle is over. So
3.
Yeah, just reshuffle your shit.
It's hard to shuffle 5 cards.
Yeah. All right, then you take 3.
Okay.
And boosh.
Okay.
Okay.
I like that. That's really cool.
That is very cool, and I feel like with the more people you have, the more stressful it gets.
Because did you tell them what happens if you don't touch it in time?
No, I didn't. Would you like to tell them?
If you don't touch it in time, you take more damage from your enemies because you basically lost initiative.
Right. So, do you want to go first this round?
Yeah.
Since I messed up last round.
Okay, so this is called Split Strike. If Split Strike reduces a target to 0 health, you may take 2 damage to resolve it again without rolling. So, I won't because they both have 6 points.
I mean, how much damage are you going to do with that?
2.
Okay. Sweet. So you made that.
I did 2 damage. I'll do it to the mushroom.
Cool. And we're not like we probably should call out which enemy we're attacking.
Yeah.
But since it's just the 2 of us, we're not gonna mess with that. So, and then also...
I'm picking on the mushroom. I did that same thing last time.
You did.
Picked on the
so, this is a tier 1 Fae. The magic mushroom has +1 damage from music.
I like that.
And so does the Will of the Wisp. So my music attacks should do +1 if I actually succeeded.
Be awesome.
So, I did Soulfire, which is deal damage equal to the number of dead enemies and allies I play because that was just the only one that seemed plausible in the cards that I was given. So basically, I just have to not... Yeah. So I didn't do any damage. But I also didn't take any damage. There's that.
Okay.
I'm just useless in this game. Alright, no one takes any damage,
Yay.
except for Dad dealing it. So, we shuffle again.
Okay.
Ready?
Yes.
No! An
Enemy surge!
Enemy surge occurs. Immediately follow the surge action listed on all remaining encounter cards, some undead, blah blah blah. Surge effects happen more before abilities, aka they're going first. And this is the Will-o'-the-Wisp has a surge. All allies and enemies take 3 damage, including the Wisp. So, everyone takes 3 damage across the
Wow,
board.
just kind of like... Pew.
Yeah. So, the Will-o'-the-Wisp and the Mushroom go down to 3. Or the magic, let's see. This one goes down to 1.
Ooh.
And then it says
Mushroom
negative...
looks over at the Wisp and is like, what are you doing?
-4 to all rolls this round. For us.
For us.
And I go down from 11 to 7. I can't do it with single digits. Alright. If you are knocked out during the surge, do not resolve your abilities, which is pretty cool. So, do you want to go first?
Sure. Wow. Okay. At the mushroom, I am going to fire a magic missile.
Okay.
Which I need a fire better to get that off. Bang.
Alright, magic mushroom is dead.
It is a fried mushroom.
Also, it gives a description on the cards what these monsters are. For example, the magic mushroom is tendrilless, purple, and emitting a sickly smell. I almost said stickly smell.
Stickly smell.
Alright, I'm going to do Shockwave at the Will-o'-the-Wisp. This deals 12 damage, I wish.
Yeah.
This deals 2 damage if I get a 12 or better. Also, well actually, this one says all enemies, so I don't have to select a target. Because it does actually have a target logo that says unique targets. So if you need to, for example, for the magic missile that he just shot, he has a target of 1. He can only hit 1 target. For healing cards, it says target is self. So that's a very cool point also.
Yes.
Alright, so I have to get a 12 or better. Nope. I just can't play this stupid game. Okay. And we move on to the next round. We should have 3 cards left.
Yes.
Alright. And we all take 1 damage. So, because they did 1 damage, or the Will-o'-Wisp did 1 damage to us. We have 1 enemy remaining, so we change that on the screen. And we have 2 adventurers still remaining, so then we go to the next. Shuffle the cards, which we can't.
Shuffle them, but...
Okay. And boosh!
Alright.
Okay. Okay. I regain 2 health this round and take no damage if I get an 8 or better.
Okay.
Sweet!
Yay!
Yay! I finally did something. So that's 2 health for me, which means I'm now at an 8.
Okay, I am using a phase weapon, which allows me to deal 2 damage to the class of your choice.
Also, that was called phase shift, so...
And if I roll a 20, I deal double damage, which will kill it.
Aw.
But alas, I did neither.
Okay.
So.
They did 1 damage. I take no damage from that because I did a bit of a magic-y.
Magic-y.
And we just continue. Yeah. Made my stomach
Talking about
just...
the unnecessary tension.
Alright, so I am going to use my loot. And that means I'm going to use my magical loot. Which is a different word. Because I use my loot.
your loot as a loot.
Yeah, my loot is a loot.
Your loot is a loot.
So, it says, double all the effects of all loot used this round. And I need to get a 7 or better in order to use it. So,
yeah.
let's resolve that first, shall we?
Yes, let us.
Sweet!
Yay.
Okay, so
good.
I use my loot. I use my loot that is a loot. And it says 2 targets take 2 music damage. Since there's only 1 target, it's just the Will-O-Wisp. So the Will-O-Wisp automatically takes 4 points of damage.
Boom!
Because I doubled it.
Boom.
So that brings it down to 0. Sorry, I kind of stole that.
No. That's steal
All
that
right.
thunder. Take that thunder.
Sweet. And then the loot goes into the discard pile for loot because I've used it. I believe so. Yes?
Yes.
Enchanted strings produce a stunningly beautiful melody. Also, the Will-O-Wisp description is a phosphorant orb gently floating. Pretty much what you would imagine.
Gently floating, but zapping you viciously.
All right. We take 1 damage, but we win. Victory! Shuffle your ability cards back into your ability draw pile. All adventurers heal to full health, even if at 0. So we're back to 12. We have all of our abilities back. And we hit next. And it goes back into the story mode. Victory! With the final hit, the wisp and the mushroom collapse to the ground, exhausted. Alright, you win! We give up! You handcuff them and drag them to the town guard.
How do you handcuff a ball of phosphorus gently floating?
It's handcuff is a terminology. Really, you're just putting them in a bottle.
Get in the bottle. Get in the bottle. Okay, so, I'm impressed. Nice work.
You turn into an orc.
Right. Make it orky. We got a long way to go.
So pay before you leave.
I'm impressed. Nice work, says the guardsman. Now for your reward. He laughs and smiles, reaching down to tussle your hair.
At least my shampoo smells good.
Yeah, I won't tell your parents what you were up to. Now, you better get back home before it gets dark. You head home excited for your next adventure, not realizing how badly you were just screwed by the guard. Because you're a child and you don't know any better.
That's all it takes to play Expedition. More quests are available on the app's homepage. At the end of each quest, you can provide feedback to help to make sure the future of Expedition quests even better, which is really, really cool. If you're feeling adventurous, you can dive into the more adventure game modes on the Tools section. Don't forget to check out the settings in the top right.
All caps.
It's all caps. Or it's bold, rather. From here, you can further customize your gaming experience. Continued in the first expansion, Expedition, the horror, available at expeditionding.com. Which I forgot to change it, so we didn't really get to use it. Which is okay.
That's fine.
But this is a lot of, like, characters that, you could play, you fight Shoggoth. You can fight a Night Gaunt. You can fight a Soul Eater. These are really dreary.
Sounds like fun.
Dreary monsters.
No, I would do that personally, but I don't think these guys can handle it.
Okay, so that is Expedition for you. If you want to check out the game, you can check them out on expedition.com. I feel like you gotta be really invested in playing this game to play it. It's not something that you can just break out on a whim. You've got to, it's a role-playing game, and it's done completely with cards, so that's a pro and a con, because if you lose cards, you lose cards. So, but it's all kept in a handy-dandy little box for you, so that if you...
Does that say Cthulhu?
It does.
It's not Cthulhu.
It's Cthulhu.
It's
his daughter.
It's a lowly spawn of the mighty Cthulhu.
Ah!
So, you don't have to actually fight Cthulhu. You could fight Cthulhu.
Here, give me your cards. So, that is Expedition.
Roll the Kadai.
What do you think of Expedition? Good job. That's a lot of thought.
It was a lot of thought. You could hear it just rolling off my synapses. The game itself is, I think it's well constructed. It flows well. The directions were easy to understand.
The cards are beautiful.
The cards are cool.
They're simple.
Very simple. Very well made. The app on the phone, it is neat. The timer adds a lot.
Oh yes.
To the because when I hesitated, I could see the anxiety welling up inside her like Old Faithful on a dark night in Yosemite.
Yes.
Yosemite, and it just that 10-second timer, which I might start incorporating into our actual role-playing games, because it's like, okay, what do you do? Flip the timer over, and I've done that before, and it does add quite a bit. And then of course the phone app itself, it makes it a much less static type of game. Because when you have content online, with the exclusion of DLCs that you pay for, you have a very dynamic a game with a dynamic content, which is something that we really should have mentioned in our online gaming thing, because the content of a book it's very static, with the exclusion of addendum, you know, like extra things published and stuff like that to go with that book. But when you have a card game such as this, and you have an app such as that, then the entire thing...
I'm just going to put them all in the same.
The entire thing becomes very dynamic. And it's updatable, and it's constantly evolving, and can be added to, and it's just...
Can be added to?
Can be added to. And to me, it just makes the whole thing a lot more fun, because you don't know what's going to happen next. So, all in all, I think it really works. It wasn't clunky at any point. The adventure that we did the same thing last night that we did here in this game, and there were 3 of us. Ian played. The 3 of us played last night. We played the same adventure, and it went okay. I mean, we won that adventure as well. So I was really curious to see how 2 of us would have faced off against those things as much as...
Honestly, we did better this time.
We really did. 2 of us did better than the 3 of us did last night. So it's an interesting dynamic.
Which goes to show that every adventure, even if you play the exact same one, can have different results.
Yeah. And a lot of that was dependent on the characters, because last night I played a magical bard.
Who is me?
And I had 3 magic and 3 music. And this time I played a pack rat, which had 2 magic, 2 ranged, and 2 melee. So I didn't have the musical factor.
Yeah, which I did.
Which you did.
Because last night I played a ranger called the Wild Ranger, or Wild Hunter.
Wild Hunter. Yeah.
And I had no music, I don't believe, but I had ranged and magic. So I had a whole new... And that's something that else is cool, is that you can play the same campaigns, but if you play them with completely different characters, you're going to get a different experience. So the character cards are left blank very specifically for your imagination to run wild on which characters is which. You can completely create separate characters. I mean, we played the exact same character you played yesterday that I played in this review.
Mm-hmm.
They're completely different.
Yeah,
we didn't add any personality to them because this was just a little run-through.
Right,
but you can make it as in-depth as you want it to. You can, bring out sheets of paper.
You could add a lot of role-playing to it.
Yeah, you could bring out sheets of paper and put on backstories for that.
But then again, we role-play everything. I role-play as someone who's not petrified at the dentist sometimes.
I watch videos and think that they're playing a game of D&D. Like, movies are just D&D games played out for me. So
at board meetings, I role-play as someone who knows what they're talking about.
As a cashier, I role-play knowing math.
You know, that's absolutely true. When you are working, role players make the best employees because they can be on. I mean, if you have to talk to the public and you know how to role play, then you can morph into.
You can certainly try.
Someone who is agreeable with that person, just like that. If you're good at it, and all that.
It's on a 20.
All of that notwithstanding, I'm gonna give the game. I think I'm probably going to. I can't think of anything really bad about it. I mean, it does what it does. It does it well.
Can you? What is the information about it? Like, how long is it? I think it's up here.
Okay, 20 plus minutes. Ages 10 plus. No experience required.
Wait, there's none. You don't. You can just pick this up.
You can have just turned 10 with no 10-year-old experience at all. And play this game. Like,
well, when they demoed it for us at Gen Con, it was very exciting, and we didn't even bring out the deck. She just told us what the cards meant, and it was a very cool run through. And I love that there is no dungeon master aspect to this game. The dungeon master in our games, such as yourself, you know, sometimes they feel left out and want to play the game. I feel like this is a great way to get everybody equally involved. It takes the dungeon master aspect out and puts it into your phone so that everybody can enjoy the game from the player's perspective. And I love that because I've always been I've always tried to think of a way around that because I always feel bad when you're the dungeon master and you don't want to be the dungeon master.
Yeah.
So
I almost always want to be the dungeon master. And this is a choking hazard. So.
Well, it's got those tiny little health pieces. The cards were great quality. I don't see them.
Yeah, they were good quality cards.
I don't see them getting lost very easily. The little token pieces, we already lost one last night. I gave him a black token and
I didn't see it. I never saw it.
It will-o'-the-wisped away.
I thought it might have been a different kind of overdone corn chip. It'll show up again eventually.
The die was just not our die. It didn't belong to us, so we rolled really poorly last night.
It was awful. Ian was the only one who got good rolls.
Right, I'm just going to give him that die. So, I like the variety of monsters. I like the variety of characters. They're kind of stereotypical on what you would find, so basic characters and what you would find in normal role-playing games. That's fine. It would be really cool if they gave a few blank cards to create your own character and which cards and which abilities they can have. But I feel like the ones that they have, it's a good variety. I would love to see more expansion packs of this, more modern timed, maybe. I'm sure there's modern games in the app itself where you can check out. But honestly, I also can't. And one of my favorite things about this is the simplicity of it, the minimalism of the artwork, and the use of icons and whatnot. Like that type of stuff, I love. Like this is very iconic with the design of the box. So
with the icons,
it's iconic.
Wow.
So.
And what caused this damage?
My dog.
So you're saying your dog ate your homework?
My dog ate my homework.
Wow. It happens. Folks.
No, she wanted to play too, and she didn't know how to open the box. So.
Didn't you tell her it was a choking hazard?
She got to
look
before
at
I
this,
stopped.
Scarlet or Dipper.
It was probably Dipper. I apologize. It wasn't for my lack of trying to get my dogs to not lick my things. But you know that's dogs for you. So that's Expedition. What would you give it out of 5 axes?
I'm gonna give it 5 axes because it's good. It's a good game.
Cool. I
didn't have any problems with it. I mean, it was well balanced. Like you said, the aesthetics were good. The rules were good. The rules were easy, and everything was explained really well on the app. And it's dynamic. It's constantly changing. People are constantly adding content to it. As opposed to
which makes them feel like they're a part of a community that they can totally get into. This can have a huge following online. which I would like to,
I would like
research.
to see that happen.
Yeah. So I'm also going to give it a 5 out of 5 axes because it's just this completely new revolutional medium that a game can... I'm trying to talk here.
I'm sorry. Violent.
It's a completely revolutional type of game. Yes.
Revolutional?
Yes. It's
She picked that up from the elves of Nordland.
It is a new type of revolutionary. Thank you. I write. I don't speak. I'm an artist.
Not a speakist.
So, I learned all of my words from reading them. So
I learned my words from you.
Very revolutionary game in that it's using a medium that was not otherwise, or it wasn't there previously. It's using all the tools available in today's society. And I think that's great. We're moving past the regular books, and we're going into something that is a little more somehow in-depth and more simplified at the same time.
Yeah.
So I feel like it opens up just giant world of possibilities for us. So I think that just on that alone, it's an amazing game.
It's cool. It's
So,
cool, yeah. So since it's revolutionary, we'll say Vive la Expedition.
All right, so that's 5 out of 5 axes. 5 out of 5 axes from the Dwarven Tavern. That is the Expedition game. You can find it at expeditiongames.com. It is for children. It is for 10 and up. No experience required. It's 1 to 6 players because there is a limit of cards, and I mean you can buy more cards that have more people, but I feel like that would get way out of hand.
Man, that'd be that poor little mushroom wouldn't stand a chance. 87 people come in there. You get out of our market, and the mushroom be like, I'm so sorry.
And it can be 20 minutes depending on the quest. So this is not like a consolidated game. It's not you play it once and win. It's a quest. You play quest per quest. And, like, you can have the same characters. You can draw the same characters and hold on to them. And
That'd be cool.
Just keep going. Like, pick it up every now and then. You want to play Expedition? You want to play Quick Quest while we're waiting on this thing? Sure. Ta-da. You've continued a story from a previous time. So, that's that. You can check them out at expeditiongames.com. And we are the Dwarven Tavern. I am your host, Lyric.
And I am Dr. Jeff Goins.
And on behalf of the entire cast and crew of the Dwarven Tavern, I wish for you to want for nothing but adventure. And at first I feared it, then I charged. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you next time.
Let the